is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for Era the Medieval Age, which was a game that you had brought up multiple times because of my hatred for Roll Through the Ages, and you're like, no, this game is a lot better, and it is! This game is very much better than that shithole luck fest of a game, but I will say, this game to me is not too much better. I mean, well, it is, but it's okay for me. Like, it's extremely simple in its concept. Like, you roll. You just roll dice. You almost are always maxing out on resources. So it's just kind of like turn order. Who's gonna kind of build literally almost anything that they want, and you just do that for an hour. So that's kind of my initial thoughts. What do you guys think of Era?
Liked it.
I knew you would
liked it. I
like
had
it.
fun. I love games like this.
Brad?
I like looking at the aftermath.
Yeah. The aftermath. That
Glorious! Glorious!
That horrid example of a city.
A true medieval city.
That is true.
Yeah.
I put this up, because I had the Bronze Age, Roll Through the Ages, Bronze Age.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much you just roll your dice and you had a pad. Everybody had their own pad of paper. You were just crossing off boxes.
Right.
This brings the theme into it so much more.
True.
Because you're actually placing your buildings. It looks neat. It has a toy factor to it. Because you have the stuff. You're actually building your walls. Building the stuff. That's why, I got rid of Bronze Age just because.
Oh, yeah.
This.
Yeah. I mean, granted, between the two, Roll Through the Ages is like 15 minutes. This was an hour.
Mm-hmm. Which
it
is
didn't
normal.
feel like an hour.
It says 45 to 60 minutes.
It felt like it was getting up there for me. Like I was kind of wanting the game to end because I was getting tired of doing the same thing over and over and over.
Getting a little antsy-pantsy over
I mean, because it's kind of like once I closed in my walls, I was like, now what? Because whenever you build stuff like this, like it's like you want it aesthetically pleasing, and whenever you start building out, you're like, no, it's all ruined. Like, even though I actually could have I could have built one more like longhouse and really just fit it down in there.
If you would have rolled the 2 skulls once, I would have won.
Oh yeah,
because you would have been
that's absolutely true. Because it would have been like I would have thought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It would have been 10 down. And actually, that is a thing about the game is. They do have these disasters, but they're really not that
bad. As punishing as the other.
Like losing a building, it's like you get to pick. So okay, I'll just lose,
a farm,
a farm, or I'll lose a longhouse, something that's extremely cheap.
Yep.
Like it's like they could have easily made it being like lose your highest cost building or something like that. And it's like fuck this game.
Well, I think the other one because he learned because he it's just the same guy obviously. He did the Bronze Age. He did Iron Age and went after it and stuff. I think he's progressed it up. And this is his best version of it. It's not punishing. It's a simple game. You sit down and just kind of play it.
Yeah.
There is enough player interaction with a little bit of stuff, but it's not detrimental.
Yeah. The espionage is kind of nice. It's very simple. I rolled three things. I'll steal 1 resource from you.
And if you refuse, you lose 2. It's just very... It's laid back. It's not high stress. This game, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's good. And then with the expansion, of course, it makes it even more pleasing.
Right. It is. I do like the fact that the types of buildings that you get dictate the type of dice you get, and the dice have special abilities. If you're for some reason struggling with food, then you just get another longhouse to give you more peasants. That give you that 3 food.
The church dice with the feather on it is amazing.
Right. Yeah, with the feather that lets you re-roll if you get that. Like,
as long as you keep getting the feather. It even lets you re-roll a skull.
The monastery was great too, because I had 2 of them, so I'd roll dice, and then I'd be like, okay, what did I get? I want to keep that. Okay, I didn't get any building. Well, actually, now I did. Look at that. Yeah. Now I do get a build action. So... Yeah, there is really no high stress. Even if you do the espionage or even the attack of five skulls, it's like, I hit both of you, but I'll lose a farm. I'll lose a farm.
Well, and the solo game of this is nice and fun too.
Really?
When you do with the expansion, what was cool is they gave you these cards, and they're like scenarios. There's like 6 card scenarios, so it says these buildings are in play. Your board starts out with this much stuff, and these much scorched earth, or
whatever.
I
see. Okay.
And then you have to try to get to a certain point level.
Neat.
So it's kind of neat,
Yeah.
It kind of gives you a little goal for playing that and stuff.
Right.
When you do have that, how they kind of, and it's neat how they kind of teach you how to use the roads and stuff, because like in there's also scenarios, different ways to set up the game. Like the first one is, okay, you're going to play with these things and that because this is going to introduce how roads work. So then you're going to just you'll play a game where you don't use the rivers and stuff, but with the roads, and then you'll play a game where you're just doing with the rivers.
Gotcha.
And then you'll be like, okay, we're going to do this now and toss both of them at you.
Yeah.
But then there's something called the big game, and it's where you have everything. There's little box like collector sets is what they call them.
Okay.
They're little box things that are like, it adds maybe another type of building is all, or maybe a couple other different kinds of dice, or something like that. And so this is like you can play with everything.
Like everything.
It's called the big game, and you play with all this stuff, and
that's pretty
the rules
cool.
kind of change up. So it's definitely a.
It is very fun to be able to look back and have a story. I mean, you get that with this one. You get that with Suburbia, where you get to kind of have a story about the thing that you build, castles and any kind of like tile laying, or this is essentially tile laying. You don't get this with Tapestry, which is the ironic part because it's supposed to be about telling like your weave of stories. But what I would have liked from this, and I know you said there's an expansion, is this kind of reminds me a little bit of Tiny Towns, like the spatial awareness. I mean, it might be a little bit of the exact same grid of how you collect resources and use that to build a building, and then you have to put the building in the same spot that those resources were at. So over the game, your town shrinks, and in that one, they have, the different types of buildings, and you have one of each type. They have like 4 or 5, and you shuffle that deck, and then here's the one we have. I would have liked that from here because, to me, this doesn't breed a whole lot of options. It's
the expansion. There's buildings that replace other buildings.
Okay.
And stuff. So I mean, it gives you the variation with it.
Yeah.
So
So I'd like to see but in the base game, it's like I was kind of spent. Like I had resources, and I was like, I don't know what to build. Yeah, I mean, getting a hospital would save you from potentially getting a disease. But I had the monastery that I got to set dice. So if I like happen to roll an initial 2, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to bump that up to a 3.
Right.
So there was kind of like I felt it was limited by the base game. I mean, still fun, but yeah, there was just, it's almost kind of like it is a next step from, I mean, Roll Through the Ages was very bare bones. Mm-hmm. Literally just pen and paper and some wooden dice.
I like this because the roll and write games, because that's the whole thing now.
Yeah.
And everything's like pad of paper and this, those are fine. They have their places and everything. This was neat because with that being a roll and build, I think just having the tactile, seeing the 3D buildings instead of like cartographers, you're drawing the little stuff on there or whatever, just different stuff like that. Having the 3D version. And it's not super, I mean, with all the plastic that comes in this game, it's not super expensive.
Oh, really?
Really. I mean, it's
it's pricier, of course.
But it's not what you'd expect with all the plastic that comes in the game.
Yeah. I personally would have liked, maybe, I did like the game end, like, powers. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's like you.
If you were to build a university, man, you would have rolled
one
extra point for every
book.
It
wasn't until later in the game where I just
ran
out of those so much.
Because how many did you have? 13?
She had 13. So she would have had 28 points.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah, I mean, there is enough here. Like this, kind of like I mentioned, Tiny Towns is really the game that I'm thinking of. But that one has more of a spatial awareness. It's more of a puzzle. They're kind of the same vein, Gateway-ish. However, in that one, because of the spatial awareness and the drafting of resources, really, or it's kind of like, I'm going to name glass. Everyone has to place glass, and so it becomes more of a puzzle. This one, because there's no interaction with resources, it's all what you happen to roll. I was never personally challenged in what I wanted to get. I never felt like there was a race for me to build something before someone else was going to build it. And hell, even like the one time I thought that like I was going to be able to stop you from doing something or make you work a little bit harder, you're just like, oh, keeps count as walls, so it doesn't matter. It's like, oh, okay. So there's really, it's loosely player interacted, like very, very seldom, and it doesn't even matter a whole lot. Because I can't imagine the time where you would refuse someone a resource whenever you can just so easily get them back.
I mean, I guess if you want to be an asshole about it, because with the way it's worded, I guess it's almost like you can ask for stuff that they don't have.
Oh, that's right.
And I've never...
That's right. Yeah, it's like, oh, you don't have any food? I'm asking for food. Yeah, that's right.
That would be kind of a shitty...
That would be like... I'd be like... if that...
Which
if that
I guess
was,
that's extorting. I mean, that's another word.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, but you extort to get what you're extorting, so you wouldn't go to someone and beat the shit out of them and not gain anything out of it.
So it's like... that's why I've never played it that way. I've just never thought to do that.
Right.
You know, it's just like, you just take what they have and... That's
yeah,
it, you know,
and maybe that was the goal. It becomes a little more cutthroat, where you're trying to get them as low as possible. And for this kind of game, for the atmosphere that it brings in, that would be like, hey, let's play Orleans with that intrigue, you know. Yeah, and it's like, let's ruin the game.
It's such a laid back game; it doesn't need that.
Exactly.
You know.
But yeah, this is like if this had more depth to it, like maybe more options, more game end stuff, more pause to actually think about where you're putting something, like you said with the rivers and because like even the Scorched Earth, it would have been maybe like, have you played Cartographers?
I've watched it playing.
So Cartographers is like if a monster comes out, you take their thing and you write it. That'd be cool with the Scorched Earth. Like, hey, that comes in, I'm gonna, we decide where it goes, so it forces you to start to build a little bit different. Attacking would be pretty mean, because then it's like, obviously I'm gonna take your cathedral out, but maybe, it says opponents lose an unwalled building. Like, if it's walled in, then it's like, oh, I can't attack you.
Right.
So it kind of forces you to want to, we can attack Kat, because she has walls for atmosphere.
Right. I think the thing, because I've only played with the rivers and roads thing once.
Yeah.
But what I liked about it and what it changes is it makes it even more strategic placing.
Sure.
Just because there's extra wall pieces.
Okay.
That actually let water.
Oh, like a bridge. Yeah. Almost.
Like water go underneath it. It counts as a wall.
Neat.
There's buildings that have to be built next to the river in order to work. Like they overhang the river. And stuff,
neat.
And everything, and it's like
that's exactly what I want.
Right, and that's what the expansion does. It's
okay.
It makes it more complex, and I didn't bring it because I wanted the first impression to be
right. You know? Yeah, no, I totally get that. But that's my personal thing. Like it's very rare when a gateway game grabs my attention. It's like Canvas and Tiny Towns are like the perfect level of gateway, because it still includes puzzles, and it sounds like that expansion. And hopefully, if he keeps making expansions for this,
maybe
then just add more of those ideas.
Those little collector deals are awesome. They're expensive as hell to get.
Sure,
because you have to get them from Europe.
I see.
Because their website, they were each like $10 expansions, but then you had to pay for them to come over from England.
$60 shipping.
So it was like $50-some to get those 3 things over. But I'm a completionist, so I get it.
Right. Kat, you got anything to add?
Not really. No, I liked it, so I'm standing by my man. Error.
Oh, you reorganized.
I did. Yeah.
Try to make it a little bit better.
Yeah.
That's still going to get
worse if you do this, because they're all attached.
And they're all attached. I mean, we've been listening to the podcast. It's a 5-part series about the Black Plague.
Listen,
she was really trying to recreate that.
And honestly, this is my track record, and I stay true to who I am. I sometimes when I play a game for the first time, I'm playing for theme more than points. And boy, if this wasn't a shit-eating medieval
town. This is why you fail.
And I also, when I rearranged, I put the hospital all the way out here because fuck them, and I put the church on the outside of the wall away from.
Yeah, I was trying to really I was risking it with the setup. I was like, yep, if I roll a disease, I'm gonna do a disease. Then yeah, I'm gonna be screwed. But I was like, oh, monastery, you get some die mitigation immediately. Hell yeah! We don't need church when we have, or we don't need
little church.
We don't need science when we can have God.
Because I believe in science. Yeah.
So yeah, I think the expansion would be right up my alley. It would give me exactly what I want. Other than that, yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of negatives. I did kind of feel it was a little bit long.
Well, that's
for
up
this.
to us. Like you can make the game as long as it's short if you're just buying stuff and going.
I guess, but then no one's wanting to play the way they want to play. Like they're playing to end the game. Right. You know, it's like I would like it if they're. I mean, I like the way it ends when buildings run out. Because if you were playing kind of like the way Tiny Towns does, where you run out of space to build, that would be way too long. Because you have the tiny ones that you could just.
Well, and 3 players is the best way to play this game.
Is it?
Well, because look at 4 players.
Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah. Why is it 5 more? Or 5 total? That's dumb.
More things are
one
I thought it was 4.
One more person, and you have to empty out 2 more, so it goes even longer.
That's such
3 is about perfect. 2 works really well. It's just these don't come into play a whole lot.
Yeah. And these weren't that
stuff.
Yeah.
But
and the way you were telling me, like, whenever you initially said turn order doesn't change, I'm like, so the person going in last just gets fucked the whole game. And even then, that wasn't that bad. Like when I had a 3 and you had a 2 and she didn't have any, it was like, oh, okay, I get 2 resources from you, and like you get 1 from her. I mean, so she's getting attacked twice. And if the way that he intended for us to look and be like, oh, she doesn't have any blue, we're gonna choose blue. It's like, hey, have fun losing 4 points. It's like. No, that'd be really stupid. Yeah. And if people play that way, play a different game. Play an actual war game if you're going to be an asshole about something like this. But other than that, yeah, just, I think 45 minutes. Ours lasted like almost exactly an hour. 45 minutes is probably, that's a pretty good time. Yeah. So, do you guys got anything else?
I don't think so.
Sweet. All right, on a scale of 1 to 10, Brad.
I put this, are we just doing base game or?
Yeah, because we can't rate the expansion, Brad.
I would probably say I'd probably put it as this type of game and what it's for and how much I played it and everything. I would probably go like an 8.
Okay.
You know, because
What would you give it with the expansion though?
8.5.
Okay.
I mean, it adds more. But not,
Yeah, I was gonna give it an 8 as well because I don't feel like it.
This is like a hard fucking 3. No.
Because I did not feel like it was an hour. Like I enjoyed it. I had fun.
Well, yeah, because you gave up.
Because I had fun.
You don't get to have fun.
Well, part of the fun of this is watching everybody build their deal, because making fun of you for doing your thing or you risking it, putting your stuff. It's like it's fun watching other people. You're not just nose down in your town the whole time.
Right, and you're not literally just
through the Bronze Age
writing on a piece of paper, pretending. If I could only imagine what this game would be like if it had miniatures.
The imagination box from SpongeBob.
Yeah, except that game sucked. Yeah, this one, I did like the dice. I like the custom dice. I'm a little bit less than you guys. The expansion, from how you explained it, would bring it up probably significantly. I was teetering between a 6 and a 7. I'm actually going to end it on a 7. So just slightly lower than you guys, but still pretty good game. I don't know how much it costs.
It's like 50 or 60.
Oh yeah, that's a fantastic price for what you get out of this. How much is the expansion?
30 or 40 maybe.
Cool.
It's a lot of plastic in that too. Because of all the.
And it's neat because these are actually pretty good miniatures.
They're detailed.
Yeah, they have detailed. They're detailed enough that I think you could paint them.
Yeah, people have.
Sure.
Yeah, there's pictures all over the place, but
Yeah, very easy. I don't. There's literally no need for this except for the sheep. But this is a nice detailed player aid. I was gonna say, I don't know what I was gonna say.
The only reason I could think that they want you hiding it is
for the attack.
It's just to see if you need to re-roll stuff. And
for the espionage, because you could get more keeps to try and attack more people.
Right.
But yeah, that's the only reason. And I just constantly found myself fucking with the dice. Like I'm just like, oh hey, I got 3, and then I'm over here just messing with all of them, and I'm like, oh no, what did I? Oh no, Ron, no. Anyway, Brad doesn't get that joke. No one's gonna get that joke.
Part.
Huh?
I've watched that part.
Oh, okay, cool. Only that specific part. Anyway, so that's our thoughts on Era Medieval Age. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.
Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.